Hello and welcome back to Personal Productivity Using Technology with Dr. X. We are continuing our journey creating our first mobile application with App Inventor. At this point, you should have in front of you this. This is your very nice painting with a button that has a picture behind it, the Magic 8 ball, a label that has instructions for your user, and then another label that has the answer of the Magic 8. As you may have noticed, I have cheated and I created some more meaningful names. I thought after we closed that video, well, it doesn't make sense to just call this button Magic 8 because then I don't know whether this object is a button or something else, or a label or a text or something else. So I used a Magic 8 button name for this. Be careful, names have to have 0 spaces. So no spaces in those names. And also I'm using camel case, which is to better be able to recognize the words and not have all words in non-caps. Okay, at this point you can also cheat and pause the video and change the names of your objects to instructions label, answer label, and Magic 8 button. And when you're back, we are opening now the blocks editor. If you're using Explorer, which is a very common browser, you would have to go through another step and open your blocks editor. If you're using Chrome, you may have to save a JNLP type of file and then run it in your computer. Very similar, it's like a .executable file. When you see this security warning, just check that you don't want to see this again because you trust MIT, and I personally trust it. So I will run the blocks editor this time, and the blocks editor is the actual code. It is the actual part where you will make your components smart. So now at this point, a little bit of theory. Algorithms. You remember that word, I've mentioned it in Excel. So what is a computer program? Okay, the things that you use all the time, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and Wix, and all of these other cool programs or applications that are actually programs. So a computer program is a sequence of instructions, okay, like a recipe. But it's instructions for the computer, and the computer can grab them, process them, interpret them in his own thinking, which is a little more detailed, but it goes down to the level of electricity, zeros and ones, or closed open circuits, and execute this computer program. The sequence of instruction is an algorithm. I love this word, and if you learn one thing about computer science, this is algorithms. So if you learn one thing from this technology class about computer science, is that it revolves around algorithms. So it's really neat and really nice to be able to give instructions to the computer for anything you want. Eventually we'll have these robots that we will be giving instructions and getting our clothes washed, but for now we will give instructions to your Android phone or the virtual phone that you will have on your computer to run an application using an algorithm. In the case of the Magic 8 ball, the algorithm is super duper simple. When the user clicks the button, makes sense, right? When you click the button, tap the Magic 8, then something should happen. I want to make a sound and pick an answer. So 2 things have to happen. A sound has to be made and an answer has to be picked. So now the answer picking part is the toughest part because it's like grabbing a random lottery ticket or a random number or a random text, a random answer from the Magic 8 ball answers. But let's make a sound first. okay, and we'll get back to the make and answer. So now I'm going back to my canvas. I'm not going back to the blocks editor, which is the code. I got to add the sound. I don't have any sounds, and if I don't have something in my painting, it is not going to appear in my blocks. Here are my blocks. Look, answer label, instructions label, magic 8 button, and screen 1. And going back to my painting, answer label, instructions label, magic 8 button, and screen. So all of the objects that I've got in my painting appear in my blocks editor so that I can program them and make them smart. The only thing that is missing is from my palette, the media, the sound. So I'm dragging the sound, I'm clicking with the left, dragging it on my painting, and as you can see, it's a non-visible component. And now this sound can be anything from the sounds that you downloaded from the App Inventor media library. I like the ka-ching, so that's what I'm going to put. And then click OK, and then click OK. Now save. Let's look. The sound appeared in my blocks. So here are the built-in blocks. I don't care about them yet. Here are my blocks in the block editor and the advanced. I don't care about them yet. So at this point, I've got everything I need to start programming. The first thing I need to do is go back and look at my algorithm. When the user clicks the button, so this is the first thing I have to do. I have to get a when the user clicks the button coding snippet. So let's see, this should have something to do with the button. So if you understand these things and if you make clear steps for your app, you can program any app you want with App Inventor. But the first thing you have to do is know very well what you want to do. So when the user clicks the button, it seems to me like this first little block means when magic 8 button, click, do. So I'm going to select this, and once I click on it, left click, it appears on my blocks editor, and I can drag it around. So now this is perfect, but still nothing. There's nothing to do. There's nothing inside. So when the user clicks the button, I want you to make a sound. So I would like to call the sound play routine. It seems like this little block will fit in here. And if you hear the sound that it fits, then you're perfect. And it also makes sense. It makes sense like a human language. When the magic button is clicked, do call the sound to play. And that's it. And that is just perfect. Because at this point, we have the user clicking the button and the sound to play. So now I am going to start a new emulator. Click OK, do not touch that little window that may open, and just leave your emulator load and go back to my algorithm. The next thing I have to do is the tough thing. Pick an answer for his or her question. And I forgot an important step. Reveal that answer. Show that answer to my answer label. So reveal, show the answer inside the answer label. So the next step involves the answer label. So I'm going to go first to that and look at the bricks. But let's see. I can do multiple things at the same time. Here's my phone. Want to check whether when the user clicks the button, a sound, the ka-ching sound plays? Well, let's check it. After I create the virtual phone and I wait a little bit so that it boots and all of these letters appear, then I can connect to this virtual phone or emulator. So here we go, we are connecting, and again, wait a little bit until the app appears. As I'm waiting, I'm gonna look at my answer labels. I want the answer label to get some text. I think I'm gonna go to set answer label text. Okay, you don't have to find these things as fast as I do. You will get used to finding these things once you know exactly what your app should do. And another hint that helps you with your app is the bricks. The bricks are like puzzle pieces or Lego bricks, and they can fit perfectly. If they don't fit perfectly, like this, let's say I did, I'm sorry, throw it to the garbage. Let's say I tried to put this in here, it doesn't fit, so throw it to the garbage. Let's see what's going on with that phone. Okay, I'm gonna tap the magic ball and listen to the sound. It's playing. And at this point my volume is not the bestest, but you can figure out what's going on. Okay, so now, oops, I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna reopen my emulator and click OK. So now, at this point, what I'm gonna do is look at my answer label and pick the set answer label text. So that will set the answer label text to some specific text, which will be the answer. And at this point, I fitted this perfectly in the when magic button click do. So that is perfect because I want both of these things to happen at the same time. I want both the sound one to play and the answer label text to be set to the answer of my Magic 8. So for the next time, we're going to create these answers. These are a little bit tough ones because what I have to do is create a box with random answers and pick from this box a random answer to give an oracle prediction to my user. So all of these things are going to happen on the next and last video for the Magic 8 Ball applications. See you next time.